WNBA star Angel Reese snaps at Taylor Swift fans for hosting Travis Kele's ex. WNBA rookie Angel Reese seems to like the hot seat because she continues to attract bitterness and inflamed reactions from numerous fanbases. Reese, who nicknamed herself the Bayou Barbie from her time at LSU, clapped back at Taylor Swift fans who expressed anger after Reese invited Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend Kayla Nicole on her podcast, Unapologetically Angel. Kelce, a Hall of Fame caliber tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, dated Nicole intermittently from 2017 to 2022, right up until he met and began dating Swift. The megastar's fanbase, nicknamed the Swiftness, are looking askance at Reese for making such a move that they deem as classless and a blatant form of engagement baiting. On the Unapologetically Angel episode last week, Nicole told Reese she kept her distance from Swift after the singer formed a relationship with Kelce. "We've seen each other in public spaces before, but due to the nature of his new situation, there's no room for us to communicate or acknowledge each other publicly without it being spun into something crazy," Nicole told Reese. Angel Reese answers her many critics. Swifties accuse Reese of clout chasing and using Nicole for clickbait material. After a few days of incurring the Swifties' wrath, Reese responded with a simple answer on her X account. Reese, 22, who is now the forward for the Chicago Sky, first rocketed to fame and infamy when she taunted basketball juggernaut Caitlin Clark after thoroughly vanquishing her Iowa Hawkeyes in the College National Championship in 2023. She's also incurred the wrath of some Sky fans who feel she's mostly responsible for the termination of her head coach, Teresa Weatherspoon, after just one season at the helm. Other WNBA fans characterize Reese as a narcissist who engaged in stat padding in order to break records, yet failed to contribute to the team winning. The Sky finished the season 13-27 and missed the playoffs. Fan discontent with Angel Reese is intense. Fans responded to Reese's seemingly flippant response to charges of mining for clicks and clout. Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley look to overtake Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese in NCAA's latest era. As the collegiate women's basketball season approaches, the spotlight is on two iconic coaches, Gino Auriemma of UConn and Dawn Staley of South Carolina, as they prepare to usher in a new era following the departures of superstars Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. With just weeks before the season tips off, fans and pundits alike are wondering how these legendary coaches will navigate this transition while still keeping their programs at the top. In a recent episode of The Elle Duncan Show, host Elle Duncan emphasized that despite the absence of Clark and Reese, this season's narrative will be just as compelling, largely because of figures like Auriemma and Staley. Never sleep on Dawn Staley," Duncan remarked. "There's no concern that just because Angel and Caitlin are no longer in college, the enthusiasm will wane. It is storylines aplenty. For Gino Auriemma, head coach of the Huskies, this season could be a defining one. He's on the verge of breaking Tara Vanderveer's record for most wins in Division I basketball history, solidifying his legendary status. As Duncan noted, many believe this might be his last year in Connecticut. Adding to the anticipation is the return of Paige Bueckers for her fifth year, after missing much of her previous seasons due to injury. With a healthy Bueckers and Azzi Fudd, UConn is ready to bounce back from last year's setbacks. Auriemma, with 23 Final Four appearances and 11 national titles, is chasing one more championship, potentially capping off his storied career. Meanwhile, Dawn Staley continues to cement her own legacy at South Carolina. The 2024 AP Coach of the Year has turned the Gamecocks into a powerhouse, consistently contending for national titles. Duncan summed it up perfectly: never sleep on Dawn Staley. Certainly, Staley's Gamecocks are set to be a dominant force once again despite having lost one of their key defensive presence, Camila Cardoso. Still, there's a lot that this NCAA season will bring with it itself. A new era, but the rivalry remains. As much as this season marks the beginning of a new wake for the NCAA, the rivalry between UConn and South Carolina remains strong. Both Auriemma and Staley have been at the helm of their respective programs for years, leading their teams through memorable Final Four matchups and thrilling national championship games. The challenge now will be maintaining that competitive fire with a fresh crop of players who are eager to make their. Although the previous draft class left an indelible impact on college basketball, the focus now shifts to the next wave of stars, like Juju Watkins. The guard, who set freshman scoring records last season, is already being projected to possibly surpass Clark's scoring achievements in the coming years. Absolutely, Duncan said when asked if Watkins could take the all-time scoring record from Clark. If she keeps at this particular pace, she could 100%. She is an offensive revelation but also a really stingy defender as well. She stated during her podcast. And who will be her biggest rival this season? Arima's Paige Buckers. While the NCAA enters a new chapter, the brilliance of Geno Arima and Dawn Staley will undoubtedly remain central to its story. Both coaches are not only chasing championships, but also creating lasting legacies that extend beyond the game. As they mentor the next generation of players, including stars like Paige Buchers and Juju Watkins, the question remains, will this season see either coach cement their dominance once again, or will a new team rise to take the crown as the season unfolds? Basketball fans will eagerly watch to see if Arima can close out his storied career with one more championship, or if Staley can further establish South Carolina as the dominant force in women's basketball. One thing is certain, even without Clark and Reese, the NCAA has no shortage of captivating storylines, and this season is shaping up to be another thrilling chapter in its history.